How's it going, everybody? As fucking promised, at long last, here we are. Step one of the new setup. Ring light literally just came in the mail today, so we're about to really just dive in. My name is Isaiah Whitmore. I am the director of the Power of the People Party, and I'm also the main contributor to the So I've Been Thinking podcast. Thank you for joining us this evening. I've got a lot to get into. Don't know how long it's going to take. I talk kind of fast, so I'm going to do my very best to be as intelligent as possible. But there's going to be some moments where we veer off the beaten path into some of the more ignorant parts of the nigga kingdom. But without further ado, again, thank you guys for joining me. Let's jump in. This is the Christmas Eve edition of the So I've Been Thinking podcast. Little green, little Christmas tree, Don't have one, but I'm gonna have to be the Christmas tree for today. So I've been meaning to talk about this. Yes, I have a script. I'm old fashioned. I was born in '96. I still like the paper. I like physical touch. I can write and I can look. I can see the ink. I'm gonna have to scratch it up if I fuck up. I don't like all this digital bullshit. I like paper. I went and seen Wicked for Good. I don't remember. No, I seen it the Tuesday after it came out because I am an AMC Stubs member, and I get the nice little 50% discount Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So if I'm like, that shit finna be bunk, I'll wait until the next week and I'll go watch it for like $5 to $7. If you are not an AMC Stubs Premier member, no, I'm sorry. Just an AMC Stubs member. It's literally free. You're missing out and you're wasting money for no reason. Don't do that shit. Anywho, so Wicked for Good. I went and seen the first one last year. The first one literally came out hours before. I'm sorry. Yeah, no. The Kendrick Lamar album dropped the same exact day as Wicked dropped and as Gladiator 2. So last year, when Wicked dropped, I'm over here in the Lyft, Uber, whatever the fuck it was, bobbing my little head around to yesterday somebody whacked out my mural on my way to go see. I did a little double header. I've never done one before. I've always wanted to. So I went and seen Gladiator 2 first, and then I seen Wicked in 3D right after. So I did a review for both of those last year. We're all the way back to... Well, not all the way back, all the way forward to Wicked for Good. I don't think it's the final movie, but it's the final movie of the Wicked series, whatever. So, unfortunately, all the shit that I did not like about the first one, it was basically all came back with a fucking vengeance in the second iteration, right? So... one of the main things, like, I had my suspicions. They do this, Hollywood likes to do this. We're going to talk about Avatar right after this, so we're going to just hold on. I promise we'll get there. They like to do this weird thing where instead of, like, addressing issues that specific people that are alive and well and kicking have, they'll introduce this, like, third party that's, like, not a color that we know human beings to be, right? And that'll be, like, the vessel through which reckoning occurs. And it's bunk. And it's bunk because there's how many ways to tell or reanimate, like, actual stories of things that actually happen to people and are still actively happening to people without having to introduce this third party. When you introduce a third party, you take out the accountability piece. You take out the aspect of needing to actually tell the truth. You can then, like, with Wicked and Avatar, honestly, you can take all these different experiences, meld them into one, and not actually give credit to any of them. And that's a problem, because when we erase people's stories, when we erase that efficacy, or we can actually point and say, boom, this is this, boom, this is this, boom, this is that, we already know how these motherfuckers get down. They'll try to get away with shit. Like crazy ass shit that we're gonna get to here in a couple minutes. I promise you. They did this really, really weird ass thing where Galinda and Elphaba want the same boring ass white man, and I'm not even gonna get into that. Said white man is supposed to have either been from India, from Asia, or East Asia. And they turned it into a white man. The most boring fucking white man they could find. Why depart so far from the story? Why? Like, to my understanding, the original Wicked was supposed to have been somehow based off of the individuals whose names we can't say, because whether we say it positively or negatively, the algorithm has a problem with it. So a specific group of people that were genocided by the people that look exactly like them, and everybody else has to fucking care about it because they are in positions where they can tighten the motherfucking screws on your ass for not being sorry about it. So they went and put, like, green face on a black woman, and then they tied in a bunch of real aspects of what black women experience on a day-to-day basis. And then they made her, like, the love of her life be a guy that only became a cop, guard, army man, because he wanted to be with her. And he was going to use it to find her, and then after he used it to find her, he was going to leave all of them and, like, risk his life so they could be together. And the holes in this story is giving Swiss cheese, it's giving Lambeau Field, it's giving, stankaroni. They had no chemistry whatsoever, so that made it even worse. It was, I want to say, like, the last 45 minutes of the movie, I was just ready to go. Like, I was ready to go home. I ended up going on a date afterward, but I was just like, I'm really glad I did not pay full price for this shit, because if I had, I'd have been not happy about it. Not happy at all. Yeah, just a lot of the shit that I enjoyed in the first one, they didn't bring in, like, a new iteration of it at all. It was cool seeing the flying monkeys in a more, like, non-fee-fi-fo film. We're about to come fuck you up because you gave us wings. And yeah, actually one of the things I did like, I really did enjoy seeing Elphaba cast spells. That was cool. That was really cool. It was interesting seeing, very interesting seeing the little conflict develop between the wizard, whatever the fuck his name was. The wizard, Asian lady, don't ask me to remember her name because I fucking don't. Who else? Galinda, Mr. Army Man, whatever the fuck. And then even them, like, kind of showing the backstories that they gave for each of the characters that end up being with Dorothy. That was interesting. And then the fact that the Asian lady kills her sister to draw out Elphaba. And then the shoes that Dorothy was supposed to have got, you click your heels together, you go home, was supposed to have been from so-and-so's, Elphaba's dead sister. Like, there's some very, very dark elements in it that I wish they would have explored a little bit more. Like, even the Tin Man becomes the Tin Man because her half-sister basically is on some, I don't want to be with anybody. You can't be with anybody if you don't want to be with me. So she tries to cast a love spell on him, just know what the fuck she's doing. So she curses him. He's finna die. Only thing Elphaba can do to save him is fucking get there and be like, all right, turn this man into motherfucking tin. And then he's mad. And then instead of her telling the truth, she blames Elphaba. She dies. Now bro's even more mad. It's just a mess. Yeah. Probably my favorite scene was the scene where the animals, instead of taking off, they're like, all right, we're gonna fight. Roo-rah-roo. Oh, yes, the opening scene. I almost fucking forgot. The opening scene where she's, like, liberates the Aniwa. It's the tippy word for the American bison. They're like literally using them as like slave labor to build the brick road, which to me just seems like an amalgamation of what they did to put railroads across Turtle Island. And they weren't using Niwa in that way. They were fucking massacring them to the point where they almost went completely fucking extinct. But just that interaction where you got this, I'm gonna say quote unquote black witch coming in, collaborating with an animal relative in Niwa, and in doing that, they end up fucking up the little plan they had. It wasn't for long, but it was long enough to throw a spanner in the works, and I fuck with that. So that was cool. I hate giving movie shit out of 10, so if I was to give it like out of 5, I think I gotta give it a 2.5. Maybe a 3, but probably a 2.5. Just because it felt way too long. The writing felt lazy. Oh shit, in my last point, they alluded to the fact that the Wizard of Oz was Elphaba's father. They came back and confirmed it completely. But they didn't really do anything with that. They just kind of confirmed it, and they didn't really have any real confrontation over it. So far as I can recall, it was just kind of that. It was just it. And yeah, so that's that. And then, oh yeah, our next fucking review. Avatar, Fire and Ash. I've seen all 3 now. It's come to my attention that Fire and Ash was basically just part 2 of Way of the Water, which it makes sense to me because from the first Avatar to the Way of the Water, the jump in graphics is like, it's motherfucking night and day. It's incredible. That's supposed to be what Avatar hangs its hat on, is how like visually stunning it is and how it pushes the envelope and all that. So if that's what you're like hoping for when you go see this one, and you're not gonna get it. There's still like obviously there's some dope shit in it, from like the environments to the shit out on the ocean and all that. But by and large, it's just your prototypical, 21st century, 3D CGI, but at the Avatar level, which to me I feel like is pretty good. So I think that's like probably the only positive things I'm gonna say about this shit, but we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, another thing that struck me as being very, very, very interesting is the opening scene. Spoilers motherfucking galore. So if you haven't seen Avatar, Fire and Ash, click the fuck off right now, because yeah, it's just, I'm going into it. This is a review for a reason, my nigga. The opening scene is, I do not remember these motherfuckers' names, so I'm not even gonna try. The only ones whose names I remember are the characters that I cannot fucking stand, i.e. Jake Sully, i.e. Spider. And I can't even remember Miss Fire Spinny Blades lady. Varang? Don't remember. Anyways, opening scene, they're flying around on there. I think they call them banshees. Could be completely wrong, but the little winged dragon, pterodactyl, butterfly looking things. Flying around on that, him and his brother's dead. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, hold the fuck on. This is stolen from Prince of Egypt. Some of their dialogue, some of the shots, some of the specific like angles that they portrayed them in, some of the emotions even. I was like, this was 100% inspired by the Prince of Egypt. Now, the Prince of Egypt, for me, is my favorite animated movie ever. It would be 10 out of 10, but they decided to have fucking Wasichu people, Napekwan, Mzungu be the voices for motherfucking niggas from ancient times. I didn't have to do that, but they did. So, still a great film. Watch it, enjoy it. I still fucking enjoy it, but I'd be sitting there like, damn, they really could have had Angela Bassett and motherfucking Denzel and all these other greats, Lawrence Fishburne, all these other greats be the voices for a movie about niggas in the Bible, but no. Val Kilmer and other motherfuckers went and did the voices for it. At least Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston got to link up and gave us that beautiful There Will Be Miracle song, because that motherfucker still goes crazy. Anyway, oh yeah, I'm going to jump. No, I'm not. I'm going to hold on to the end and try to do better today. So, there's not like too much in it where I'm like, okay, whoa, what are we doing? But the main part where it's like, this is just not cool, like not cool at all, is the most powerful entity in the whole thing is a Navi that's really a clone that was birthed somehow by Awa and some more shit. I couldn't explain it to you because as they were explaining it, I was like, huh? What the fuck? This doesn't make any sense. I also am not a very big fan of the fact that like Awa is literally like a white-faced alien thing. Like, why is Awa white? Like, y'all could have picked any fucking color, but you went and made her white. Like, we got blue people, but you got a white god. Blue people, blue-green people, and you got a white goddess that, like, is powerful over everything. James Cameron, you're not slick, bucka boy. So then you got that. Then you also got the fact that, like, I am jumping to the end. I don't know. It's whatever. It's the part that pissed me off. So, the alien human thing, sans the Avatar absorbing humans' fucking consciousness, Spider and old girl that's the virgin birth of Awa and the white woman that somehow magically knows more about Pandora than the fucking locals do. The indigenous Navi people do. They end up like getting it on in the forest or starting to. And I just was like, this is a very, very, very weird, not good path to be going down. You got these like animal-ish humanoids and these humans falling in love. And then once again, just like with the whole Jake Sully thing, obviously he became Navi because, you know, you gotta throw the white guy in the indigenous body and have him be the greatest warrior of all time. Shit's bunk, man. Super bunk. Yeah, man, so she like saves him, and then she's like doing her little dance because she's in a trance and her little thingamabob is attached to the earth. Like, these organisms basically go inside Spider. Now I can breathe oxygen, doesn't need a mask anymore. Hooty woody woo. Natiri and Jake Sully were supposed to kill him. They decided not to. It's the same motherfucker that let his like Avatar conscience absorbed dad live after almost killing his whole adoptive family. Like, there's just holes upon holes upon holes upon holes. And instead of them killing him in the forest, so the white folks, the white folks don't come and colonize Pandora, they let him live because this is not our way. Just the same tired fucking narratives they try to pass about black, brown, and indigenous people not being cutthroat enough. And in some cases that's true. In many cases that shit couldn't be farther from the motherfucking truth. This is one of them. This is fake. Super fake. Okay, there's two more things I want to address about Avatar. The first being... the first one is... Oh, yes. One of the things I really did like is they, like, never really showed the outpost where they're supposed to be beefing up and getting ready to really run through Pandora. They showed it this time around, right? And Jake Sully turns himself in. He ends up in this big black box. And then, I don't remember the name. Koresh? Is that his name? I don't fucking remember. He ends up coming in. He ends up talking to him. And he's basically trying to tell him, like, hey, he didn't say it like this, but I'm going to say it like this because this is what he said. Hey, you could be like me. You could, like, decide that this destruction, this pain, this death, and this genocide doesn't need to happen. You can go join the people and fight with the people. And by the end of the thing, before bro jumps into the abyss, he's rocking the same kind of paint as old girl, who he shows how to bleep, bleep, bleep. So, I'm not entirely certain what they're gonna do with part 4, but I'm sure it'll be interesting enough to watch at half price. Because the motherfuckers are not getting full price tickets out of me. Well, they might. Who knows? We'll see. Doesn't matter. It is flawed white entertainment anyways. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 4 topics left. So we're gonna start with this right here. So this is The Thunder Before the Storm. You can barely, there we go. You can kind of see it. There we go. The Thunder Before the Storm by Clyde Bellecourt. This is like this is an autobiography of sorts. And for those of you that do keep up with me, when this most recent academic year started, I made a commitment to read through multiple books that have to do with Black, Brown, Indigenous, radical tradition. People are involved in that, so I can educate myself more fully, so that as the director of my own radical revolutionary organization, I can be as fit to do so, because I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. I believe in learning from the folks that have already done it, and done it far better than I'll ever be able to do it. Holding on their examples, learning from the mistakes that they did make, and not making the same mistakes, if at all possible. So I am, how far through this book? I am 75% of the way through this book. I'm actually probably going to finish a couple more chapters after I get off of here. I read 2 this morning. That doesn't sound good. I read 2 chapters today. And as I was reading, it's like, yeah, I definitely got to hop on here and make sure this is my podcast, talk about it. So the occupation of Wounded Knee in 1973, I think it was a 71-day deal. A lot of crazy shit happened there, yo. I'm not even gonna really get into none of that, because if you really want to know, just do your research under the American Indian Movement, occupation of Wounded Knee in 1973. You'll get a lot of information if that's what you're looking for. But excuse me, there came a point where I guess there was like a delegation within the camp to realize that they wanted Clyde to leave and be like the outside spokesperson for the occupation. And so when he went out as the liaison, so to speak, they tried to charge him with all this different bullshit. He got locked up, got released right away. And he basically just started trying to build coalition with all these white lawyers. Supposed to have amassed a pretty big amount of white lawyers to do what they do. And it's within this time frame that, was it the funeral or a march? No, there was a march. It was not the funeral. There was a march. It would have either been 1973 or 1974. I don't remember if he said. If he did, oh well, I'll be all right. Where Coretta Scott King, the widowed wife of the good brother Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., she called him, and they had a whole little conversation about how she wanted him to come down to wherever they were at to be a part of this march that was supposed to honor him, his legacy, civil rights, solidarity. Yeah. According to him, he didn't know who she was, allegedly, and so he basically played her off. But then, after he tells his staff about who it was that called and all the rest of that, they're like, oh, you gotta call her back, and he's like, oh, I had to pretend like I did realize who it was, and I was just so busy I wasn't paying attention. I don't, as involved as he was in movement work, how do you not know who the fuck Coretta Scott King is? Like, nigga, you're not that busy. I'm sorry. That struck me as being a little odd. I haven't even gotten to like the nitty gritty yet of the legal battles he ends up getting into with Dennis Banks, Russell Means, and motherfucking John Trudell, along with other people, over some shit that I'm not gonna get into. It was pretty serious. He makes it a point throughout this book, long before there's any conflict, to like talk about how like, oh, these people weren't sober, yeah. And it's like, me personally, people can be as traditional as they want to be. That's totally fine. I would never really come against that, unless you come against me, what I do. But them motherfuckers were just as at risk and involved in the struggle as he was. So I didn't. It just feels like framing to try to like get your mind in a position where when they start talking about his perspective of their many court battles and public back and forths, that you like or you side with him. And unfortunately, like, my perspectives on him in the beginning, before I read the book, they've changed quite a bit compared to now. I feel like I've learned a lot about his character, and so there's times where it's like, wow, these motherfuckers can do like incredible ass work. I would never try to take any of that away from him or anyone else that he worked with. But there's some shit that I feel like we really shouldn't look past, specifically if you're an organizer, if you're a director, if you're responsible for other people's lives. It's like, might need to be a little bit more proactive, serious, aware, so on and so forth. He like talks quite a bit about, without going into real details, he talks quite a bit about how they were infiltrated by 3-letter organizations. You either know what that means or you don't. I'm not finna explain it. Where there was this whole situation where he was under the belief that there was a whole battalion of people from Oklahoma that came to Wounded Knee to join them. They had all these problems with them. And as they had all these problems with them, they eventually got into a situation where, because they'd all been arrested, they weren't supposed to have guns. They were passing this gun around. Long story short, he ends up getting shot in the chest. Rushed to the hospital, survives, has spiritual experiences, blah, 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 blah. This dude that he's receiving like spiritual guidance from gets into a fucking domestic assault situation in the motherfucking ambulance while this man is being rushed to save his life. I don't know how many hundreds of miles away, I'm not sure. It wasn't super clear. And like, there's a couple other instances where he just like kind of mentions the fact that like members of the American Indian movement were roughing women up, roughing their domestic partners up, being super out there when it comes to women and substance abuse, and he just kind of shrugs it off. And it's like, how are you leading a transformative organization if when it comes to like interpersonal shit like that, there's not like some real serious, what the fuck y'all got going on? Like, you can't be out here violating domestic partners with violence, sexually or otherwise, and expect motherfuckers to just sit back and be like, oh yeah, you're reputable. The fuck? The Black Panther Party, same shit. Brown Beret, same shit. Like, there's just this thing for some reason, unfortunately, with these groups where it's like, fucking Marcus Garvey, the NOI, like all these different organizations, is just rampant physical abuse, sexual abuse, mental abuse. And it's fucked up, honestly. It's really fucked up. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. But it is what it is. So I just have to learn from it. And with the work that I do, make sure that I don't stand for that shit, because I fucking don't. Not at all. If you do put hands on people, specifically man to man, there better be a really good motherfucking reason for it. And as a man, if you ever put your hands on a woman, that's not fucking cool. It's just not. There's 15 million ways you can respond to that without resulting in violence. That woman cannot hurt you, dog. You getting a little boo-boo on your face is not in any way, shape, or form equivalent to you now trying to beat the black off somebody. Like, I just think we need to get back to good old corporal punishment. You want to violate motherfuckers? Well, I hope you had a good life, because the life is not forfeit, my boy. That's what I'd like to see, me personally. Because we just got motherfuckers running around rampant, doing fuck shit to people and never, ever experiencing any consequences for it. This shit is fucking wrong. Fucking wrong. I'm going to jump down and then come back because talking about this to me is the perfect segue into this other aspect of what I want to talk about today. Oh boy, the correlations between R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Epstein, Trump, Diddy, and Drake. Okay? All of this shit, based off of what I'm remembering, as long as I remember correctly, within the last decade, all these mega star, mega famous, mega popular, mega moneyed up motherfuckers have all been directly involved in harm against women and against other groups of people that in a lot of cases just so happen to be motherfucking immigrants to Turtle Island. And all of them have basically gotten a slap on the wrist. The only individuals currently on this list that are actually like experiencing any sort of motherfucking what's the word? Consequences for their actions. R. Kelly is still locked up, I believe. Diddy's serving this little slap on the wrist. You tried to sue the tequila company because you forgot you was a nigga, and so we locked your dumb ass up for sex trafficking. They literally put him away on the the smallest margin they possibly could. He'll be back out and doing the same bullshit he was doing before. They just like to do shit to crack the whip and try to remind people, remember who you work for now. Remember who you work for. It's not your program. Not your program, Negro. But yeah, so going through the list again is to make sure people are like abundantly clear on where I stand on this. Fuck R. Kelly, fuck Bill Cosby, fuck Epstein, defo fuck Trump, fuck Diddy, and fuck Drake. Predatory ass pieces of shit, all of them. Yeah, fucking ridiculous. Now rewinding back, I wanted to talk about the modern day relationship between Black Americans and those that are indigenous to Turtle Island. Clyde Bellecourt said he had some interesting words for the people in Dr. Martin Luther King's church, where he used the phrase specifically saying, "Oh, you guys forgot about us." And it's like, I don't know. I don't know about forgot. In this, since August, I've done, I'm gonna say attempted to connect with indigenous folks here in Minnesota, Makoche. And the anti-blackness is real. It's very real. So if it was real, like today, 60 some odd years after, 60 some odd years after the civil rights movement, imagine how like palpable the tension was between the two demographics. Like multiple indigenous tribes owned niggas. Most of the folks like myself that have indigenous ancestry do not have indigenous ancestry through we fell in love and got married. No, nigga. The 5 civilized tribes took on chattel slavery as a way to enrich themselves, and we're doing the same fuckery to the Black American ancestors that I have that these motherfucking Europeans were doing. Same shit. Was the extent and gravity of it the same? Probably fucking not. Still happened. Still something that should be reckoned with. There's still a palpable stench of anti-blackness in places where y'all are over here accepting these motherfuckers that don't look indigenous at all and running around calling themselves any of the motherfucking tribal names that are indigenous here. But then a nigga with some motherfucking melanin and some black hair and the forehead and the cheekbones and all the rest of that, you gotta wanna have a problem with them. Like, this is why I've embraced many of the aspects of Afro-pessimism. You cannot fucking sit there and act like, oh, solidarity, 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 but you're out here welcoming fucking white people. White people! If you do not look like the ethnicity that you claim, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Seriously. It takes 3 fucking generations for you to go from fucking Sudanese, outer space, melanation, to motherfucking paper. That's all it takes, bro. That's all it takes. So if you gotta like fucking another motherfucker who I can't stand, Cole Palmer, you have a living grandparent that's black. You look like a motherfucking Raggedy Ann and Andy doll. Take that fucking St. Kitts flag off your fucking shoes, bro. Please. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing. Nothing about your lived experience. Nothing about your visage. None of it. None of it. And you motherfuckers be sitting there getting excited when a fucking white person tips their cap to you. Fuck them and their cap. Esteem yourself. Care about yourself. Love yourself. Love your people. Like, why do you need like the most violent organisms on planet Earth to fucking like approve you for you to be like okay with yourself? The fuck is wrong with you niggas, man? Indigenous people too. Like, why? Why do you even want motherfuckers that don't even look like imagine he was to like reanimate Crazy Horse. Crazy Horse was to see all these white people running shit for his tribe. How the fuck do you think he would feel about that? How do you think any of these people would feel about the fact that, like, they have quite literally been overrun by people that are like, oh, that one time my great raped the motherfucking indigenous person, and now I'm sitting here claiming some shit that doesn't even make up a percentile point of my ethnicity. Fuck that shit, bro. Fuck that shit. So, whilst I am a proponent of Black, brown, and indigenous solidarity, the path to that is not going to be easy because the anti-blackness that's ingrained within the brown and indigenous communities is very, very, very deep. Doesn't seem to matter how, like, humble you attempt to engage, how, like, there's such a, you're a nigger! You're a nigger. And it's like, yeah, damn right, that's exactly what I am. But sometimes you just gotta let motherfuckers drown. That is the era I'm in. Let that motherfucker drown. That's the era I'm currently in. You gonna have to sit there and drown because I don't have time for this shit no more. If somebody extends a hand of benevolence to you, solidarity, and you spit on them, it's fuck you for life, as far as I'm concerned. So, like I said, I'll do what I can to have relationships with very obviously melanated, very obvious visage. Anything outside of that, miss me with it. Not interested. Not interested because y'all get to acting real weird real quick, and I don't have time for that shit. I don't have time for that shit at all. All right, last 2 things. So Ibrahim Traore is I don't even know what the fuck he calls himself, but he is the current leader of Burkina Faso. I seen a video literally on TikTok yesterday or the day before yesterday. I don't know. I've been off for a couple days, so my days are kind of like just blurring the fuck together. The man is out there putting in work to help build the economy, to help bring opportunities to the people of Burkina Faso, to keep them there. Good stuff, I would say. The only issue I have is when people like himself that are doing like all this great stuff for the people, they start to like veer into like people's personal lives. So number 1, he promised them a free election. The election's probably never going to happen. I don't really care about the election aspect so much as I care about people's integrity. If you're a leader, you're leading your people. Don't tell them shit you don't mean. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Why? You don't need to do it. Like, at this particular point, I'm sure he's got plenty of detractors over there. But by and large, because of how successful his, I'm just going to call it reign, has been so far, the vast majority of people in Burkina Faso and outside Burkina Faso that know about what Burkina Faso has experienced, they're fucking with him for the most part. But the whole, like, he went and banned XXX content, and he also banned, I don't know how you ban a sexuality, but he banned people being able to be queer. And that's all kinds of fucked up and wrong. I'm sure it's not very nice out there for folks, our queer relatives, so that's hopefully something that gets addressed. I'm not sure that it will, but I hope that people that are out there are able to, if they're not able to advocate for themselves, they're able to flee to somewhere where they can be safe, because he wants to be a jackass and a bigot. Bigots do nice things too, unfortunately. But we should be aware of, like, the overarching aspects of people, right? Like, if even me, right? So if I'm like 75% good and there's 25% where it's like, oh, hold on, like, you fucking up a little bit, we should be able to have a conversation about that and not have people be like, oh, hold on, what we doing? No, it's not that deep. We should be able to have conversations about these things. We're all human at the end of the day. So if we're not able to be fallible, if we're not able to be held into account, are we for our people, or are we trying to run a fucking cult? Think about that. Yeah. Last thing, so I get to put this down now, is Ed Sheeran put out an album not that long ago. Apparently, I heard nothing about it. One of his songs, what the fuck is the song called? I don't know. I finally had enough bread to get the new FC26, so I've been jamming out to that since, I don't know. It's been maybe a week, almost, I don't know. One of his songs came on, and I was like, it's pretty good. I'm the type of nigga that if you put out a song and I like the song, I'm finna go into your discography, because that's just how I like to do shit when it comes to music. Ed Sheeran is, like, obviously one of them fucking celebrities that just wants to, like, have everybody be happy and everybody make money and sing and dance and kumbaya together. So it's like, I'm not finna be trying to hold fucking Ed Sheeran to the same standard as I was hold, like, a Bob Dylan or a Jid, or dare I say Kendrick Lamar. I had to do a video about Kendrick Lamar at some point, because it's like, yeah, bro, you're top 3 all time, but some of these contradictions are a little hard to deal with, brother. Ooh-wee, a little hard to deal with. So, but I just want to, like, leave you guys with, like, this to think about. Again, I cannot fucking remember the name of the goddamn song, but Ed Sheeran is a song where it's like, my bad habits lead to you, or some shit like that, right? And in the fucking thing, he's literally a goddamn vampire. He's, like, floating around, and his friends, and all this other shit, right? And X amount of years later, Sinners comes out. And, you know, the singing white guy's name is Remmick, and he's fucking got the Irish accent. And he's trying to use different people's songs to, like, lure them in, to, like, take their money and their resources and make them, like, all serve him. And it's like, Ed Sheeran, are you, like, a descendant of Mr. Remmick? Because even in this album, again, top to bottom, the first time through, I didn't skip nothing. Really well produced, all these melodies. The dude is a gifted artist. Like, most of the songs, from what I see, it's just him and someone else is supposedly responsible for writing them. So it's like, I sit here and I'm like, okay, we live in, like, such a connected, globalistic world where it's like, you're gonna have the white guy that has the video of him being a vampire, for stylistic purposes, doing songs with someone from Bharat, and having, like, very early 2000s R&B soul sounding shit, where I'm sitting here and I'm like, do I actually like this? Or does it just sound good? Because by and large, I like hearing people's music performed by the people from whom and from which said art comes from. I don't need to hear Ed Sheeran singing in fucking Hindi. I don't need that. I don't need to hear him rap. Like, I want to hear I See Fire, my nigga. Just, that is your bag, brother. That right there. And the wedding songs. Wedding songs, you're very much deep in the cut. The folk songs. Like, you're literally from the UK, dude. That is y'all's history, y'all lineage is the folk songs and the love and the nature. All that. Like, why don't y'all stay in your bag? Fuck, man. Fuck. Anyways, that is what I have for today. For those of you that popped in, I hope you enjoyed. The plan is to do this more frequently. On a regular basis, usually speaking, I intend to do these live sessions and filmings of this I've Been Thinking podcast on Thursday nights. This is different because, oh boy. Tomorrow, I'm watching sports all day. Got the NBA and the NFL on, so I'm not going to be sitting here epped out on the phone talking to y'all for 45 minutes to an hour. So we're just making use of the time. I had a lot to say today, so bow. Here I am saying it. Ooh, last motherfucking thing before I go. There are people that will literally follow you on social media and they'll interact with your content. It's like a way of like almost trying to threaten you. Like, oh, I see what you're doing. Oh, I see it. Don't nobody give a fuck about you. You're not gonna do shit. You're not gonna do shit anyway. Motherfucker. When you find yourself in situations like that, though, what I will say, what I am actively doing, stay away from motherfuckers. Like, it's gotten to a point for me where I'm retired from doing shit in Minnesota. Full stop. You want me to do some shit virtually? For the manyan? Maybe we can talk about it if it aligns with my values. Otherwise, no thank you. Not interested at all. Motherfuckers want to be energy vampires in a real way and be wanting to use your authenticity as like a step stool on which to prop themselves up. And I'm not unknowingly doing that shit no more. Nope. If we don't actually align and you ain't got no kind of bread, no thank you. No thank you. Not happening. Not happening. So this has been an episode of the So I've Been Thinking podcast, live edition here on TikTok. Hope y'all have a lovely holiday. Enjoy yourselves. Be safe. But don't do nothing too foolish. Okay? I will see y'all again in the year 2026. Peace. Love. Power to the people party.